Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot patterning. We've been doing quite a bit of it recently, but this one was definitely highly requested. So we are back out here again with some of the old school Winchester Supreme buckshot loads. These are a 12 gauge, 3 inch, 1450 feet per second, high velocity copper plated double-aught buck load. They're 12 pellet shells, and so far these have shown some pretty decent performance from the one test that we've done with them, so I'm really curious to see how they do today. So as for what setup we're going to be running them out of, you guys really wanted to see me bring out the 835 Ulti-Mag here and run some of these shells through this gun. Now as for the choke, since this gun is overboard to a 10 gauge size barrel here, I decided to go with a full choke that came with the gun. I do have an improved cylinder and a modified, but they are all much more open than this choke. Now as for our target, it's going to be 40 yards just as usual. I do have the chronograph set up as well, so I'll take you guys up and let you see the chronograph numbers, since there's not really going to be anything you're able to see on the paper as we shoot it. And then after we shoot it and take a look at our chronograph number real quick, we'll go down and take a look at our overall pattern. And then I have a 10 and a 30 inch circle template that we can lay over it and count our pellets, as well as a deer torso and a hog torso template that we can lay over it for a little bit better reference point for some of you guys out there that hunt those animals all the time with buckshot. So let's head over here to the chronograph and get all the cameras set up and shoot these things at 40 yards and see how they do through the 835 this time. Alright, so that round gave us 1,349 feet per second. The box calls for 1,450, so we're 101 feet per second slower than what the box called for. Now, if you remember when we tried these in the 1187, they were just over 1,400, so they're a little bit slower through this 835. So let's go down here and see how they did on the paper. Alright, so here's our 40-yard target, and it's not quite as good as what I would have hoped it would have been. Now remember, this white dot right here is my point of aim, and on our 36 by 36 inch piece of paper we have 10 out of our 12 pellets. If I had to take a guess, the other two probably sailed just over the top here, but that's not nearly as good as what I had hoped for. But let's get some templates set up here and start with our circle size templates and see how they did. Alright, well, here's our 10-inch circle template here. Even though the template's a little bit crooked, the circle is still the circle. And if I center that up with my point of aim here, we have 2 pellets within that 10-inch circle. Definitely not ideal so far, I don't think. But let's throw our 30-inch circle up and see how it did with that. Alright, so here's our 30-inch circle. And as you can see, it's really not looking too impressive. We have a total of 6 pellets within this circle. We have a group of 4 right here, 1 just a little bit lower, and 1 all the way over here. The rest of them are all outside of that 30-inch circle. Definitely surprising so far. It's not looking nearly as good as what I thought it was going to. But let's throw some animal torso templates up and see how they would have done in a hunting scenario. Alright, so here's our deer template, and as you can see, we centered it up with my point of aim being right in that shoulder vital area there. His head and neck are just starting up here to the right, and his front leg is right down here at the bottom. And as you can clearly see, it's definitely not looking as good as some of the other tests we've done for sure. We've got 5 pellets that hit this deer. Now, with that being said, these 5 pellets would probably get the job done for you. You would have 2, maybe 3 up here in the spine, and 1, maybe 2 in the back area of the lungs there. That's definitely enough to get you a deer. So it would get the job done, but looking at the rest of the pattern, I definitely don't think it's the best combination from what we've tested so far. But it's pretty obvious that you would have a dead deer at least. So let's get our hog template and see if you would have a dead hog or not as well. Alright, so here's our hog template, and for size reference, it's probably an average mid-size type of hog here. And of course we have his legs down here at the bottom and his neck over here towards the right. And it's pretty much the same story. If we line up our point of aim right there, kind of where we would want it to be, we have 5 pellets that hit this hog here. Now as we back up, we definitely see that they're a little bit farther back than what I would want as far as hits go here. They are still vitals, so I do believe we have a dead hog here, but these things are tough, and I would prefer having as many pellets right in this aim point area here as I could. So definitely not ideal, but I do think it would still get the job done. But you might be tracking this one for a little ways for sure. All right, well, what do you guys think? I gotta be honest, I was expecting it to be a little bit better than what we actually saw here. Now, is that just a case of it being a much older load that's not nearly as good as what some of today's loads are? Or does it have to do with that specific choke that we decided to use? We can test different loads in that gun or different chokes in that gun if you would like, but I gotta be honest, I was expecting a little bit better than this. But with that being said, it still was able to get the job done for you, but it's definitely not ideal, I wouldn't say. But all in all, what do you guys think about it? Is that about what you expected, or were you like me and thought that we would see a little bit better than that? But it's getting to be like 90 plus out here with all of the humidity, and I've still got a test or two that I need to film today. So stick around because we've got plenty more coming. And on that note, I'll see y'all in the next one.